receive an interview invitation for the Chevening Scholarship, congratulations. But I'm sure you're now wondering, what do I do? Where do I even begin? How do I make sure that I'm ready for the interview? Well, my friend, I have got you covered. Welcome to the Chevening interview series. Grab a pen and paper and let's dive right into it. Here are 8 things you need to know before going for the interview. Number 1 is choose your interview date wisely. And I'm sure you're saying that's not a big deal, but it is. Some people prefer to do their interviews and be part of the very first people, and the reason is very simple. They don't want to be stressing about it. They don't want to be asking around how was your interview, how did it go, etc. While other people are more relaxed when they have more time to prepare and get ready. In any case, you need to prepare, but while for somebody it might take a week, for another person it might take more than that. So based on who you are, your type of personality, choose a date accordingly. That is the first key point to note. Read your essays again and again. The interview is not something new. They're not going to be talking about, for the most part, things you don't know or things you haven't mentioned in the application. This is a time for you to expand on the essays and the example you gave there. So it's very important that you're even aware or you remember what you wrote there. It would be such a shame for them to ask you a question and for you to not even remember you put it there, because what might happen if that's the case is people start wondering, well, are you even the one who wrote the essays? So that is why it is very important for you to read the essays over and over again and be ready to expand on any example that you shared there while you were applying. The third point for me is to practice answering your question. People do this very differently. For some, they might use the mirror and practice in front of a mirror many times. Practice makes perfect. So in any case, it is very important for you to practice. By practicing now, I'm not telling you to practice 50 questions, because you don't want to go there sounding like a robot, sounding like somebody who has prepared all the question, and sometimes you can't even, because questions tend to be different based on your profiles, even though they would all be around the same general topic, but the way they're phrased might be different. So if you can't practice in front of the mirror, or if that's not your choice, you might want to practice also with friends and families, those you know and who care about you, know you very well, and will be able to give you constructive feedback. So practice. My 4th tips for you would be to dress smart. I know some people would be like, Mom, that is quite obvious. Trust me, sometimes it's not. Chevening is looking for future leaders or people who are currently leaders in their field. They're looking for professionals. There's a reason why, even in the application, they're looking for people who have 2 years of experience already. So it means you might already be familiar with the professional settings. This is a time for you to dress apart. Suits and ties, nice dresses are in order. Don't be wearing jeans and t-shirts as if you're going out with friends. You want to show them even before you say anything that you're a professional, so dress smartly. My 5th point for you would be to arrive on time. Again, this seems very obvious, but some people would arrive late and then blame it on the taxi, the fact that there was traffic, the fact that the driver did not know the place and they got lost, blah blah blah. Now, you don't want to do that. I remember we were told to arrive at least 15 minutes early, and the reason is UK embassies and British High Commissioners tend to have a lot of security, so you would want to allow at least 15 minutes to go through that security. So make sure that you arrive on time. You don't want to be there an hour earlier, but at least make sure you arrive on time. They're not waiting for you, so you should be the one waiting for them, and that is also a sign of professionalism. My 6th point for you is, you know, when the interviewers, they tend to be, from my experience, I had in my panel 3 people. One was the Chevening officer, the other one was a Chevening alum, and a third person was somebody who was working at the embassy or the British High Commissioner. And from my interview experience, the Chevening officer was the one that came out to welcome me. Unfortunately, I didn't get to do the handshaking, or fortunately, it did not matter since I got the Chevening scholarship anyway. But that was because I did mine right after Senegal had their first case of COVID. So when I arrived, they told me, unfortunately, we're not shaking hands because of the COVID-19. But for you guys, this is not a COVID-19 case, so make sure you do a very firm handshake. And when you're doing that, also make eye contact. Show them your confidence. That is very important. 7th point would be to sit straight. You know, when you're seated in an interview, you don't want to be seated like relaxed and showing as if you don't care. You might want to sit straight. And the reason why it's very important to sit straight is not only it boosts your confidence, but it also shows that you're focused, you're in this with them. So that posture, that body language is extremely important. And my 8th and last tip for this video would be to drink that water they give you in the interview if you need it. You know, sometimes you're like, yeah, I want to be very polite, maybe it's just a gesture, and if you need it, because they know that interviews can be very nerve-wracking. So if you need that water, drink it, relax, know that they don't want you to fail. Ultimately, this is a conversation between professionals. They're curious. When you're invited for an interview, see this as a sign that you have something that made them say, hey, I think this is a potential candidate and we want to hear more about that. And that in itself should give you a boost of confidence that would make you know that you have something of value. Now that we've talked about everything that you need to know before actually starting to answer the question, in my next video I'll tell you more about how to answer the questions, what are the questions that you're more likely to get, and how do you make sure that you ace that interview. So I'll see you in my next video. Bye.